Cincinnati winning a Super Bowl means that we as a show are a Super Bowl winning show.
Yes, absolutely.
You're giving me credit as somebody rooting against you guys?
We are a Super Bowl winning show.
Yeah, high tides lift all boats. He has the hardware, therefore we are a Super Bowl winning show, so you better show that win some love.
More on Sportsmanlike coming up next. Hear that? The sound of your antique fountain pen gliding across linen paper as you journal in the park. And if you were here, you'd be inspired by the warm breeze. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the wind in your face on the road is all the inspiration you need. So if you ride, get a quote and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Now that's inspiring. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Harry Douglas here for Technique's new noise-canceling True Wireless AZ80 earbuds. Techniques has been revolutionizing the audio game for almost 60 years. With multi-point connection of up to 3 devices at the same time, the AZ80s let you go from leading a meeting to listening to a podcast to taking a call seamlessly. Visit us.techniques.com/sports for special holiday deals on the AZ80s today. That's us.technics.com/sports.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
Highway traffic continues to look pretty good this morning with no accidents to deal with one exception, and it's in the cleanup stages. That's on northbound 71's ramp to Ridge. Inbound 74, problem-free at Montana, so is northbound 471 at Grand. Chuck Ingram with traffic.
Experiences make life more meaningful. And with MasterCard's Priceless.com, you can immerse yourself in unforgettable experiences in dining, sports, art, entertainment, and more in over 40 destinations. From a round of golf with a legendary player to a cooking class with a celebrity chef, you can feel your passions and create lasting memories. Explore experiences today at Priceless.com, exclusively for MasterCard cardholders. Terms and conditions apply.
That looks perfect. The feeling of getting ready for the holidays, there's nothing like it. Decorating the tree, accessorizing the table, adorning your walls with festive decor, what could be better? Whether you're doing the hosting this holiday or just enjoying some much-needed downtime with your fave Ashley, you'll find all the things you need to make your home as jolly as can be at prices that slay. Spruce up your space for the holidays with Ashley. Visit your local Ashley or shop online at ashley.com.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today. Because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life. Because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
The holidays are family time, and my family loves to spend time at Skyline. Whether it's with folks visiting from out of town or simply getting caught up with each other, when it's time to celebrate family during the holiday season, do what we do. Make it Skyline time.
Make the most of your holidays with the Kroger app. You can enjoy over $600 in digital coupons every week. Get access to low prices and earn fuel points to save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. The Kroger app makes it easy to save this holiday season. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on DiGiorno Pizza. Select varieties are on sale for only $3.99 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you you lay awake at night worrying about what to buy everyone on your holiday list? Well, Skechers is here for a holiday rescue with hands-free Skechers slip-ins. The right gift for everyone on your list. Because with hands-free Skechers slip-ins, you just step into them and they're on. There's no bending down, no touching your shoes, no retying laces. Plus, Skechers slip-ins are perfect for everyone. Moms, dads, grandparents, kids, friends, coworkers. And they're the most comfortable shoes they'll ever wear. Find them for the holidays at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Everybody had been talking about Bill Belichick coming back, coaching in the NFL. He's off to North Carolina. Another name, older guy, Super Bowl winner, resurfaced in the market yesterday by Adam Schefter of ESPN. Unsportsmanlike is on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM, Channel 80. You can watch us on ESPNU if you want to tune in. I'm Aaron Goldhammer with Courtney Cronin. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. We will get to Pete Carroll and the rumors involving the Chicago Bears in just a second. But, Courtney, I have an official announcement that I would like to make. As everybody has their fantasy football championship games this weekend, okay, starting with the games Wednesday. We got one game tonight, the Seahawks and the Bears, and then we got Saturday, and then we got Sunday. I am ready to announce my retirement from fantasy football. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
What led you to step away from the game?
I just think that it's so driven by luck and guys picking up third-string running backs and storing them on their bench whose names they don't even know and then thrusting them into the lineup. Like, I make small bets on ESPN Bet, which have fulfilled my needs. And I just think at 41 years old, I don't need to be in 3 different fantasy football leagues, do I? I'm realizing I can't even keep up with this stuff. Now I've got kids. Maybe when my kids get older, I can re-enter the fray with fantasy football. Here's the other problem. I've been playing for 25 years. You know how many fantasy football leagues I've ever won, Courtney? Ever.
0.
That is correct. And it's not because I don't know anything about football. It's because fantasy football and I just don't get along. So I'm ready to hand in my retirement papers. I'd like to say goodbye. If anybody's interested in taking over my franchise in the old Cheap Seats League, WNYU Radio in New York City, I'm ready to give it up. I'm ready to say goodbye.
I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Because to come to this realization after 25 years of losing, it's an admirable quality about you. You've looked at your situation and you said, you know what? I'm going to radically accept that I'm not a good fantasy football player, that I don't have the time to manage multiple leagues, that I, frankly, might not be a great GM for the way that you handle your roster. You talk about the people who were picking up guys on the waiver wire and stashing them on their bench only to throw them in during the final push to the playoffs. That's not for everybody. You know who else is somebody that fantasy football is not for?
Who?
Me. As an NFL reporter, I can't do it. To me, fantasy is something for the fans. And I give out fantasy advice whenever anybody asks me, hey, is so-and-so playing today? Hey, how did this running back look at practice? He has an ankle injury. Does it look like he's going to go on Sunday?
Yeah.
I love being that person. I love providing that level of intel. I do not like setting my lineups. I do not like having to spend my Tuesday combing the waiver wire on ESPN's fantasy football app. I don't like doing these things because to me, I like to just enjoy the games that I'm not covering. I like to watch them for context, for talking points, for shows that I know that I'm going to be talking about these games on. I don't need something else added to the mix. I love the Fantasy Football Now show, Sunday mornings, 10 to 1 p.m. on ESPN2. Love Stefania Bell, love Field Yates, love D. Wood, love the whole crew. But I do not love to play the game. And you know what? Sometimes having the ability to say, it's okay to not be good at something. It's okay to walk away. That's the bravest thing in anything.
Maybe Pete Carroll can take over and run my fantasy football operation. This segment, by the way, not brought to you by ESPN's great fantasy products, which you can check out wherever you're on ESPN.com or on the ESPN app or on the ESPN fantasy app. I bring up Pete Carroll's name. You know, it's funny. Was he even on your radar screen as somebody that could get back into coaching? This seemingly came out of nowhere as the Seahawks are about to play the Bears, and I'm sure that's not a coincidence. Those two teams being associated with each other. Apparently, Pete Carroll is interested in this job, is interested in getting back into the mix. And while we spent a lot of time talking about Belichick, this is a Super Bowl coach who's 73 years old, but this is a Super Bowl coach who is a proven winner who might be thinking about, Courtney, getting back into the game.
Yeah, so there's a story up at ESPN.com right now that Schefter dropped on Christmas Day. And there's some context here because you're right. He was not on my radar to get back into like head coaching opportunities in the NFL. Currently, he's an advisor for the Seattle Seahawks. So he's in the front office. He's not in an active on-field coaching role. Kind of similar to Mike Vrabel, who was in an advisor role for the Cleveland Browns right now, not an active role on the field. But it's interesting because there's been so much about coaches getting out and then getting back in, and getting back in places you least expected. Nobody expected Bill Belichick to be at North Carolina, of all places, and I don't think anybody expected Pete Carroll in his name to surface for the Bears job. But I do buy it for a number of different reasons. Number one, it's the most attractive opening, arguably, in the NFL of the current ones, which is Saints, Bears, and Jets, and then of the other jobs that are going to come open. Why? You've got a bunch of really good franchise players, you've got good draft capital, and you've got a franchise quarterback.
Right.
There's a lot of runway for this team. I don't know if there's a lot of runway for Pete Carroll at this point of his career. He's 73 years old. How much longer do you want to do this? It's not. I don't have any qualms like, oh, the game's passed him up. Nobody was saying that when he was coaching the Seattle Seahawks. They were saying, oh, look, they got a good season out of Geno Smith. They ran into the San Francisco 49ers, and that's that. And then last year, you know, with everything that happened offensively and defensively, and for, you know, where the team was at the beginning of the year to where they regressed to.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised it was time for Pete Carroll to hang
it was time for a new voice. I mean, but in Seattle, he had an amazing run. Right.
He was a head coach for more than a decade. But I don't think that just because he may have a short runway that the Bears should dismiss this as, yeah, like, you and your mother and everybody else are interested in our opening. We're only going with the names that we want to interview. Pete Carroll is a respected name in the NFL. You do not know where his network can lead you unless you bring him in or do it over Zoom, however you're going to do it.
Right.
You have to do those things in order to check every single box. If the Bears want to get this thing right, that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
And not turn their nose up at a candidate just because it may seem like, you know, oh, yeah, Pete Carroll, wink, wink. Yeah, right. Like, that one's not going to work. You have no idea if it's not going to work until you conduct the interview.
And it's funny, you know, I remember the Browns were doing a coaching search, and I'm in Cleveland. You can see the ESPN Cleveland logo behind me where I live and host a local show here. And I remember their front office talking about, well, you know, yeah, Andy Reid is available this hiring cycle, but we want to find our own guy. And I think they went and hired Pat Shurmur, and I think they would have been better off with Andy Reid as the head coach. And that was at a point where Andy Reid was in his 50s, and people thought of him old then. 70 is like kind of the new 50. And if he's willing to really put the work in, which I think he is, I think he's a safer choice than the unproven coordinators that are going to get hired all over the place for these jobs.
Because you know that he's got a staff that he can bring with him that will if Pete Carroll's coming in, is he calling defensive plays? Probably not.
No.
At 73 years old, you're the CEO head coach, which means you're hiring a DC and you're hiring an offensive coordinator. Now, there's a caveat here. Not that this was Pete Carroll's fault, because like the whole staff, like he wasn't really fired in Seattle. It wasn't like Pete Carroll out after, you know, a bad 2023 season by Seattle standards. He was promoted. It felt like he was reassigned, is how that was positioned.
Better word.
Technically, it's like you lost your job as the head coach because he didn't retire. He didn't resign. They just moved him somewhere else. Now, the rest of his staff was gone. One of his staff members ended up in Chicago, Shane Waldron, offensive coordinator for the first 9 games of the season. That did not really work out so well for the Bears. So I can understand Bears fans seeing that and for a second having the, do you remember who his OC was? No. But I want to reassure people that just because those two may have been linked, because Waldron was the OC in Seattle 2021 through 23 and had some decent offenses. Mid is the word I've been using this morning. That is the word I would describe the 2021 Russell Wilson to the 2 years of Geno Smith offenses that Waldron had. That doesn't have anything to do with Pete Carroll, though. Pete Carroll's on the other side of the ball. Pete Carroll's a coach who I think can galvanize a lot of people. He's a leader of men. That's what the Bears say that they want.
Okay.
You at least bring that person in for an interview to make sure he may say something in the interview that has Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, anybody else who's in those rooms go, I didn't think of it that way. Is there a way that this guy may not be my top choice for head coach, but is there a way to bring him in an advisor role, maybe an assistant coach role, something else, so you don't let that expertise and that knowledge walk out your door and go somewhere else?
You know what's funny, Courtney? I could have believed that Belichick would be in the mix for the Bears, and in hindsight, I could have thought that Pete Carroll could be in the mix to go and coach North Carolina. Much more.
Would make sense. He
much
had
more than
coached at the
Belichick.
college level.
Right. Yeah, he has a little bit more college experience. Up next, we reveal the most unsportsmanlike moments of the day. I'm Aaron Goldhammer. Courtney Cronin. Unsportsmanlike is on ESPN Radio. You can watch on ESPN2.
Georgia versus Notre Dame.
There's a different feel to the playoff.
Boise State versus Penn State.
The intensity that gets ratcheted up.
Oregon versus Ohio State.
The stakes get much higher.
Arizona State versus Texas. The college football playoff quarterfinals. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. Traffic.
Highway traffic continues to look pretty good this morning with no accidents to deal with one exception, and it's in the cleanup stages. That's on northbound 71's ramp to Ridge. Inbound 74, problem-free at Montana, so is northbound 471 at Grand. Chuck Ingram with traffic.
From the Wyoming Air Tempstar Weather Center, here's your forecast.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Overall, it'll be a pretty nice Thursday, especially in the afternoon as we dry out and see some pops of sunshine. Temperatures will top out in the low, possibly mid-50s. Tonight, you're down to around 40. You hit the mid-50s again tomorrow, but rain chances move back in, especially in the afternoon. That's your 9 First Warning forecast. I'm meteorologist Cameron Harden.
Don't miss new member deals dropping every week with My Lowe's Rewards, and it's free to join because Lowe's knows deals. My Lowe's Rewards program is subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Feel like you've tried every single fad diet and you're still not losing weight? Or you're not into expensive solutions with side effects that might stop working as soon as you stop using them? Time to get to the root cause and start a plan that's tailored to your needs and to your unique biology. Start by taking Viome's one-of-a-kind microbiome test. It reveals your responses to over 370 foods. Viome is the only company that uses cutting-edge RNA and AI technology to decode your results and turn them into a plan that includes the exact foods you should eat and avoid, plus personalized supplements and biotics to boost your goals. Weight loss problems? Solved. No more gaining and losing the same stubborn pounds. This holiday season, why not give your loved ones, including yourself, a Viome test? Here's to a healthier, more energized, more vital life. Go to Viome.com to learn more and get $110 off any test using code IHEART. That's V as in victory, IOME.com. Viome, your personalized plan to lose weight starts now.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Ohio or Kentucky attorneys. 513-823-2020. Office in Florence, Kentucky. 201 East 5th Street, Suite 1310, Cincinnati, Ohio 45202. Rick Julius. Licensed in Pennsylvania only.
Experiences make life more meaningful. And with MasterCard's Priceless.com, you can immerse yourself in unforgettable experiences in dining, sports, art, entertainment, and more in over 40 destinations. From a round of golf with a legendary player to a cooking class with a celebrity chef, you can fuel your passions and create lasting memories. Explore experiences today at Priceless.com, exclusively for MasterCard cardholders. Terms and conditions apply.
He's got more sports smarts in his little finger than you have in your big toe. The Mike Greenberg Show, this morning at 10 on ESPN 1530.
Unsportsmanlike moment of the day is on ESPN Radio. You can watch us on ESPNU. I'm Aaron Goldhammer with Courtney Cronin. This is our opportunity to walk you through some of the most unsportsmanlike moments over the course of the last 24 hours. Courtney, why don't you get us started?
Andy Reid, I love ya. Andy Reid coming into the Chiefs locker room in Pittsburgh dressed as Santa Claus. I don't know what to think, because if there's anybody you'd think would dress like Santa Claus, it's Andy Reid. But come on, like, I don't know. Do I call it unsportsmanlike if it was cute? It was just one of those moments that made me shake my head and go, are you kidding me? But it's the Chiefs. They can do whatever they want. And all of the Christmas puns, I think we had that caller earlier who pointed it out. There were a lot of them made in games yesterday.
Yep.
When Andy Reid's talking about, look at the gift you guys gave yourself for Christmas. You've got a first-round bye. You've got health. You've got rest.
Home field advantage.
Home field advantage is what he said.
Yeah.
I guess I did need Santa Claus to deliver that message to the Kansas City Chiefs. It just comes in the form of their head coach, and this is the head coach who doesn't take himself too seriously, as evidenced by the Snickers commercials and the State Farm
commercials.
Ads.
There are a lot of commercials with the Chiefs, and I'm, as I've said multiple times, I'm a little sick of the Chiefs. The hubris, the chutzpah that it takes, Courtney, to pack that Santa suit. Because if they'd have lost the game, Santa Andy Reid isn't coming into the locker room, right?
I just want to know, was it the equipment manager? Was it, whose idea was this? They went up to Andy Reid because they have to get it in his size.
Yeah.
They didn't just like say, oh, we have one of these sitting around. Like, whose idea was it? And how did they approach Andy Reid about this? Did they say before the game?
Sorry, Courtney, there's no Santa suit in size small. Like, you know,
there are. Like, anybody can be Santa Claus if they want to dress up. I saw people at the games yesterday in the Grinch outfit wearing Santa Claus suits. All shapes and sizes.
Well, whoever is screwing up the Steelers defense should have gone in wearing the Grinch outfit, because that person, they're still unnamed. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. Alluded to by multiple Steelers in the locker room yesterday, should be dressing up as the Grinch. Unsportsmanlike moments of the day. Yeah, I was thinking about this because there's so many athlete birthdays this week and next. LeBron turns 40. Tiger Woods' birthday is on the same day. I think Ozzie Smith's birthday, the Wizard, if you're out there listening, I want to say happy birthday to you. It must really stink, Courtney, to have your birthday either on Christmas or right around Christmas. You're supposed to get two special days. Yeah, you get, like, let's say you're born July 14th. July 14th is one day.
I have a summer birthday. I'm August 1st.
Yeah, okay, so perfect. You had August 1st. You got to celebrate your birthday. You got to have a party, presents, cake, all that. And then you got Christmas, too. Mm-hmm. To have your Christmas and your birthday all rolled into one, that is the worst birthday possible to have, is on Christmas Day. So if you are a Christmas birthday, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you like sharing a birthday with another, famous person in world history, which is the reason we celebrate Christmas in the first place. But I don't know. To me, I would not want my birthday and Christmas to be on the same day if it was up to me.
So my brother has his birthday January 7th. So he's he gets this. And I remember hearing as a kid that, the amount of presents that you get at Christmas and that you get, if your birthday's close to it, that you get ripped off. I don't think that kid ever got ripped off from anything. So I would venture to guess that he would not think that having his birthday too close to Christmas is a bad thing. It would be tough if you had your birthday on Christmas Day, though.
Yeah.
Right? Like having to share your birthday with Jesus, that seems like you're never going to be the star of the show.
Correct.
That one would be tough.
You're always going to be upstaged by Jesus. I mean, there's nothing you could ever possibly do that would get you past or beyond that. Yeah. Speaking of Christmas, there's a report, and this is Daily Mail, so I don't know how seriously to take, whether this is like National Enquirer stuff.
They're the TMZ of the UK.
Okay, so if you think this is true, then I'm going to go ahead and say that it's true. Kim Kardashian apparently, and I like Kim Kardashian. I like a lot of the things. You should respect Kim Kardashian.
Okay. Big Skims guy over here.
Apparently, and I'm open to endorsing the product if Kim would like me to do so. I Well, not going to lie, when I heard Brian Windhurst and the Hoop Collective endorsing it, I might have gone on and bought a pair of Skims underwear.
She's an incredible businesswoman.
Might be wearing them right now. Apparently, she pulls out all the stops on Christmas by hiring a pianist to wake her kids up on Christmas morning and paying said pianist 6 figures to show up at the house at 6 or 6:30 a.m. so that the kids, I guess an alarm clock isn't good enough for the Kardashian kids. They need live piano performance. This might be the most egregious waste of money from a wealthy person that I have ever seen in my entire life. Courtney, your thoughts?
It's real because I remember your UK Daily Mail article is real because this was talked about in the Kardashians when it was on E! Before it moved to Hulu. I remember because she has this very avant-garde house, like very modern, concrete floors. And because it's in Los Angeles, I believe it's in Calabasas, there's no snow. So she has like these trees that are outside that it's either fake snow or it's real snow. I don't know. It probably is real. She probably has like a giant freezer over her house for Christmas time because she's that wealthy she could do that. But there are scenes in the show where the pianist is there in the house, kind of like when you're at the mall, when you're doing shopping and you see the pianist who's hired for the day, who's just playing some great music. She has one of those in the house. Like, it's not some random Joe Schmo, though. I'm sure it's probably some Grammy Award-winning producer, rather musician, that's doing that. And, you know, it ain't tricking if you got it. That's all I got to say. Like, if you've got the money and you're Kim Kardashian and you want to have a human alarm clock wake your kids up by playing the music from the Peanuts Christmas special.
Absurd.
I think it's great. You know what?
Listen, Kim, if you want someone to wake your kids up playing the piano, I don't know, take piano lessons and then maybe you could be that person.
She's got enough on her plate. She's a lawyer. She's trying to free incarcerated people. She's got Skims. What else does she do?
I mean,
a lot of stuff.
Look.
She's too busy to take piano lessons, in other words.
Like, what's your job? Oh, you know, I'm a doctor. Oh, I host sports programming for ESPN. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm the human alarm clock for the Kardashian family? I don't know.
Also known as a musician. It's probably not the person's only gig.
Apparently, also, I'm getting ripped on social media, bringing it up on X at HammerNation19, where nobody important tweets the show. I was talking about trying to get a gift for someone who I was going over to their house on Christmas Day. Apparently, the Speedway stores here in Ohio have a little wine section and are open.
I'm telling you, you are in Ohio. You're in the Midwest.
Wine?
We drink. We drink. There's always a gas station or a grocery or a liquor store available.
I would have been better off.
It's the thought that counts, Aaron.
I would have been better off bringing a box of wine over to somebody's house.
Heck yeah! Don't knock the Boda box.
I'm not knocking.
Stuff.
I would want to bring a nice gift and not just something. Greeny is coming up next here on most of these ESPN radio stations. For Courtney Cronin, I'm Aaron Goldhammer. This has been on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and ESPNU.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
Not available in Washington State.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
ESPN 1530.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
Tony Pike here, and I couldn't be more excited to introduce my new partnership with Pella Windows and Doors of Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. Why Pella? Because like me, they're all about going beyond strength, beyond beauty, beyond durability. It's a Pella thing. Their passion, attention to detail, and commitment to excellence are unmatched. Every window, every door, crafted with care and precision just for you. Let's go Team Pella. Bringing inspired design and lasting quality to your home. Pella Windows and Doors. Build something great. PellaWindowsCincinnati.com.
Cigars are not a safe alternative to cigarettes. Looking for a premium smoke? Then welcome to the world of Al Capone cigars, where we're keeping it real. Using only premium natural leaf wrappers, Al Capones are hand-rolled for a unique look and smooth flavor. From mellow to bold to the rich flavor of sweet cognac. Al Capone cigars stand out. Elevate your style with Al Capone My Way. Find us at AlCaponeCigar.com. That's AlCaponeCigar.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-431-8958. That's 800-431-8958.
When employers like iHeart and Kroger choose Delta Dental of Ohio, employees access the nation's largest selection of individually contracted dentists and get the care they need from the dentist they prefer. Delta Dental, we do dental better. DeltaDentalOH.com.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
From the ESPN 1530 studio. Powered by Madewell Restoration. Greater Cincinnati's roofing and exterior restoration experts. Madewell Restoration.
ESPN 1530, WCKY Cincinnati. The official home of the Bengals.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bankin. On Christmas, the Mavericks lost more than a game. They lost their star player. Luka Doncic left yesterday's game against the Timberwolves with a calf injury. He's getting an MRI today with fears Doncic may be out for an extended period of time. The Mavericks' next game is tomorrow night in Phoenix. Tonight in the NFL, the Seahawks look to keep their slim playoff hopes alive against the Bears. Running back Kenneth Walker III has been ruled out for Seattle. He's dealing with an ankle injury. The Seahawks need a win, plus a Rams loss to the Cardinals on Saturday to stay alive in the playoff race. College football bowl schedule resumes today with 3 games, 2 Eastern. The Game Bowl Sports Bowl, Pittsburgh versus Toledo, 5:30 Eastern. The Rate Bowl, Rutgers versus Kansas State. That can be heard here on ESPN Radio. Our coverage starts at 5 Eastern. Last game at 9 Eastern, the 68 Ventures Bowl will be Arkansas State versus Bowling Green. All 3 bowl games can also be seen on ESPN and the ESPN app.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Yes, so crazy right now. Most incredibly.
This 2024 NFL season, maybe the biggest question is Lamar or Josh Allen. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Tune in. And the iHeart Radio app with Reed Fowler. I'm Ken LaVicka. News from Greeny Nation. Just hit us up on the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Hope you had a great Christmas, having a great holiday. For those of you that are back to work today, we're sorry, and we're here for you. For those of you, it's just occurred to you that you have to find entertainment for your kids for the next week and a half since they're off of school. It just hit you. We're sorry. and we're here for you. Reed, do you have kids? I know you're married. Do you have kids?
I do. He's
Okay.
two and a half, though, so we're not there yet. So I feel no remorse for the people that have to watch their kids for a week and a half, because yours truly and my wife have to watch our kid 24/7, 365 right now.
I tell you what, I've got 6 and 8, 2 girls. It is much easier than 1 2.5-year-old child in that spot.
Boy, nonetheless. So he is bouncing off the walls.
We are in the midst now of not only the AFC playoff picture, but the NFC playoff picture, but also the eternal question, who is the MVP? Be a part of Greeny Nation. Dr. Pepper call-in line. Call us 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper college football. It's a pepper thing.
Here we go! Only one place to start.
And it's got to be Lamar Jackson. 31-2. The Ravens go to Houston on Christmas Day, beat the Texans. This one was never really a contest. And Lamar Jackson, 10 of 15, 168 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. One of them, one of those MVP moments as he picks out Isaiah Likely after buying himself an additional 6-7 seconds of time. And then there was a phenomenal 48-yard touchdown run sprinkled in as well. And here's what it seems like, Reed. There are a number of names that we could bring up. Saquon Barkley, what a year he has had in his debut season with Philadelphia. Joe Burrow, he single-handedly put the Bengals in a spot to at least sniff the postseason, despite a team that plays absolutely no defense whatsoever. But it is, for any rational football observer, Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, MVP. And I thought that Bill Barnwell put it really perfectly last night on Twitter. Every time I watch Lamar Jackson play, I think he's the MVP. Every time I watch Josh Allen, I think he's the MVP. This is the tightest race I can remember in quite some time, because both these guys deserve it, but it's getting to a point we got to make a decision, and I don't know if there's a clear-cut favorite.
On ESPN Bet, they're kind of making the decision for a lot of people. Josh Allen minus 225 to win the MVP, and Lamar Jackson at plus 180. So anybody who's listening who doesn't know sports betting, minus 225 is a heavy favorite, meaning that if you were to put down $100, or excuse me, if you wanted to win $100 on Josh Allen, you got to put down 225, right? That's how that works out. For Lamar Jackson, you put down 100, you win 180. So basically, the books are saying Josh Allen is that guy. But, boy, like you mentioned, Ken, last night, when you look at Lamar Jackson, for him to have an MVP performance and only complete 10 passes,
that
is incredible. And that's how much he does for the Ravens, right? 4 for 87 on the ground that's an amazing feat. And I love what Bill said, because it's exactly right. And that's what this award is really about when you really think about it, is towards the end of the season, we all have recency bias. And we'll talk throughout the show about what that means and how that portrays or how that conveys to other topics. But I mean, Josh Allen, with what he's doing currently, especially with that Bills defense, in my opinion, he is the one in my mind that is pushing his team, which is weird to say. It was weird coming out of my mouth. He's the guy that's pushing that team and propelling that team forward a little bit more, in my opinion, than Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar Jackson is fantastic.
Well, and that's where the way you just put that, Reed, I think Josh Allen is the sentimental favorite for the MVP. It almost feels like this year is sort of a lifetime achievement award for him to win this MVP honor. Like, you think about it, this was a Bills team that lost Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and Trent Sherfield, 3 massive wide receiver targets for Josh Allen in this offseason. And the conventional thought was, and I mean, Reed, you and I talked about a month and a half ago, and it was still very much like the Bills, they're going to win the AFC East, but are they actually going to be an AFC favorite? Well, that's maintained throughout the entire season. Josh Allen is putting up numbers. He's only the 10th best passer in the NFL, but he is helping the Bills to these prodigious scoring numbers, despite the fact that the Bills have the 11th best scoring defense, pretty pedestrian, a bottom 10 defense overall in total defense. But he's gone to Kansas City, had that iconic 26-yard touchdown run. He outduels the Lions in Detroit. He's been able to overcome the loss of those weapons that we just mentioned, Diggs, Davis, Sherfield, with a whole new crop, and he's been able to keep the Bills up until yesterday in the discussion for the 1 seed in the AFC the entire season. The Chiefs finally clinched that. This, to me, feels like Josh Allen overcoming obstacles. He's got to be the MVP. But, to me, Lamar Jackson is the MVP for pure statistical reasons. I mean, Reed, he's third in the NFL in passing. He is a ridiculous 39-4 touchdown-interception ratio. He leads the NFL, 42 total touchdowns. I think that we're just going through a little bit of we don't trust him because he hasn't gone to the Super Bowl yet in Lamar Jackson. We gave him an MVP that maybe he didn't quite deserve last year. I think that the people's brains are a little bit nervous about giving Lamar a third MVP because it hasn't paid off for him in the past. But I think Lamar, purely by play, is the MVP over Josh Allen. Josh Allen's like a heart tug story.
Yeah, and isn't that the sort of the crux of these awards? Right, is that just based off of merit or meritocracy, it should be Lamar Jackson. Like, it should inherently be Lamar Jackson. But there's other stuff, right? There's a subjective nature. There's the eye test. There's the defense. And look, the Ravens, the people out there are like the Ravens defense, you know, is what compared to the Bills defense. Like, the pass defense of the Ravens has been atrocious this entire season. And Lamar Jackson is winning in spite of that as well. I'm putting up points with theoretically, like, you know, like Zay Flowers, and to not besmirch this team, this offense, but Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, you know, in my mind, they are a little bit better than what Josh Allen has. On top of that, do you get voter fatigue? This is sort of like the Nikola Jokic argument, right? Where, you know, Joel Embiid wins it last year, but really based off of merit, Jokic should have won that award. But because it was time and time again, Jokic is putting up numbers. There's nothing more you can say about how Jokic was playing. Same with Lamar. Even though he's literally breaking records, he's still not a favorite. And why is that the case? Like, and if you take away the odds, because that has a lot of algorithm based on it, there's a lot of public sentiment based off of those things. Let's be honest, ESPN Bet wants to make money, so they want to break even on both of these. I would still argue that Josh Allen, because he's never won it before, which is crazy to me.
Which is why he's the favorite.
And so if you're taking it just off of that, and I would love to take it off of merit, Ken, but I still think Josh Allen is that guy. But I will not be surprised if Lamar wins this.
Who right now is the front runner for the MVP? This is going to be one of the closest MVP races we have seen in quite some time. Who is the MVP? Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776 to weigh in here. Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80 with Reed Fowler. I'm Ken LaVicka. I think it's Lamar Jackson. You go into the betting odds of all of this, Reed. This is why I like working with you, because you are keyed in, locked in on this stuff. So right now, ESPN Bet, like you said, Josh Allen minus 225, Lamar Jackson plus 180. Josh Allen is the favorite. You, though, outside of your betting and odds acumen, Reed Fowler thinks whom is the MVP in the NFL on this December 26th?
Yeah, it's Josh Allen. But if you're a betting person and you want to put some action on it, what you laid out, Ken, is exactly why Lamar Jackson is value at plus 180, right? Is because of that. Yep. But remember, these awards usually are won, even despite the regular season, weeks 1 through 16, they're usually won right around now, right? Because we all have recency bias. So remember that as well.
The kick to the finish line.
Exactly.
Now, with that said, though, the Ravens now are in the driver's seat, improbably so, to win the AFC North. 3 weeks ago, it didn't look like that. The Steelers had a 2-game lead. It looked like they were going to cruise to a division championship, and now the Steelers need to win out, and the Ravens need to falter here in the final week of the season. But the Ravens are in position to win the division, so winning it now, like Lamar, this kick to the finish line that he's helped produce for the Ravens, that could absolutely help. There's also, and I've seen this all over social media and all over the ESPN family of networks, the Derrick Henry part of this. This is a guy who has joined this Ravens offense, and he is on pace for over 2,000 rushing yards in 2024. Oh, Lamar's had Derrick Henry in the backfield lining up. Of course he's putting up these prodigious numbers. I would argue that Derrick Henry and this proverbial reset button on his career as things had started to tail off there in Tennessee and he's sort of gotten a new lease on life, that's because of the Lamar Jackson effect. Because there's so much attention you have to pay with Lamar, you've always got to have your eyes in the backfield along with what he can do to you, buying himself time in the pocket and then beating you down the field in the vertical pass game. That's allowed Derrick Henry all sorts of real estate to run all over defenses. I think Lamar Jackson furthering his MVP case is the fact that we've seen a rehabilitated Derrick Henry as a premier running back and an MVP candidate in his own right.
Right, and you need the other players around you to, A, stay healthy and be effective, right? Even like Josh Allen, and if he's the guy that we all think is going to be the MVP, he still needs the guys like Mac Hollins to catch the pass. He still needs James Cook to catch the pass or rush for those touchdowns, so defenses don't key in on these guys. So Derrick Henry, that argument, and that kind of goes in line, too, with Coach of the Year. When you look at betting markets and Coach of the Year, either preseason, futures, or throughout the season, is that you want to get a player or a coach, that doesn't necessarily have a primetime quarterback, meaning like the coach is predominantly the reason why. But it doesn't work that way with MVP, which is why Saquon, in my mind, to break that record, it might hinge on what Jalen Hurts' health status is, because if defenses can just key in on these guys, it's going to be a lot harder. So to your point, Derrick Henry, him being as good as he's been, has allowed Lamar Jackson to do what he's done.
Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. Who's the MVP? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Let's go to Houston, Texas, home of 2 points on Christmas Day. Yikes. Derek joins us here on Greeny. Hey, Derek.
Hey, I think it depends on where you at, if you're in the barbershop or you're in the Heights or whatever. Because if we're looking at we try to break Lamar Jackson down. Take the rushing touchdowns out of it, because clearly all he does is rush. He still has 11 more passing touchdowns than who we consider a passing quarterback in Josh Allen. If Josh Allen would not have had to run, take those 11 off and take those 3 off, the rushing, he is out passing in touchdowns in every statistical category. But because of, like you said, the word sentimental, and because you guys hold the mic, not you, my friend, because you're not being as biased. You're not being biased. But if you switch those numbers around, Josh Allen would be the runaway favorite.
He would be the unanimous favorite, and appreciate the call, Derek. He would be the unanimous favorite, like Lamar Jackson won unanimously back in 2019. So again, who's the MVP, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Up next, after not pursuing Jim Harbaugh last offseason, do the Bears have another chance to grab a game-changing coach this offseason? With Reed Fowler, I'm Ken LaVicka. Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This week on Football Sunday on ESPN Radio. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
Rodgers toward the goal line, caught, touchdown.
Head-to-head in Orchard Park. The Jets at the Bills. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern on select ESPN radio stations.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text CHEST to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text CHEST to 42424. That's CHEST to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
ESPN 1530.
Light up the season with savings at Kelsey Chevrolet. Now's the time. Chevy lights up their best year-end sales incentives, like 0% APR or up to $5,750 total cash allowance on select new Chevys. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from our family to yours.
Boost your festivities this season with a hassle-free holiday loan from Emory Federal Credit Union. Spread cheer and joy with cash you need for gifts, travel, home improvements, or whatever makes you happy. Members get 1.85% off your holiday loan. For more information or to apply for a personal loan, contact any Emory Federal Credit Union branch or apply online at emoryfcu.org. Hurry, offer ends December 31st. Restrictions apply. NMLS number 401087. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
big savings?
Yep, which means...
it's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho 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 ho.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-743-8080. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
Child abuse is not a bad parent problem.
Keeping families out of crisis in the first place
is how we prevent it from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org and
let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
The Bengals battle the Broncos. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on ESPN 1530, the official home of the Bengals.
For Josh Allen as MVP? Or are you going with the numbers? Lamar Jackson, your MVP. Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Tune in, as well as the iHeart Radio app. That is Reed Fowler. I am Ken LaVicka. News from Greeny Nation. Hit us up, Dr. Pepper. Call in line. Who is the NFL MVP? 888-SAY-ESPN. 888-729-3776. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Lamar Jackson, spectacular yesterday. And like you said, Reed, only 10 completed passes. That's all he needed. 10 of 15, 146, and 2 touchdown passes. He also had the 48-yard touchdown run, but the Ravens absolutely run roughshod, literally and figuratively, over the Houston Texans, 31-2. I know you were disappointed. 31-2 was not as unique as you thought it was either. In that spot.
Yeah, Josh was telling us, one of our producers, that it wasn't even a scoregami.
Yeah, it's happened before.
Who are you out there? You score more than 2 points. Okay.
I feel like 2 points, especially on Christmas Day. The entire country, hemisphere, is watching you. 2 points is actually, being able to muster just that is worse than being shut out completely.
Right, exactly.
Like, there's something even more humiliating about that for some reason.
I wish we could have gotten minus points somehow, so they just go back to 0.
It's like Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Who is the MVP? Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? 888-SAY-ESPN. 888-729-3776. Let's go to Pennsylvania. That's where we find Brent on ESPN Radio. Hey, Brent. Did we lose Brent? We'll try and get back to Brent. How about it, New York? Alex is with us on ESPN Radio. Hey, Alex.
Gentlemen, how you doing? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
So, listen, I've been a Long Island native, for about 40 years, but my dad raised us to be, Bills fans, the only true New York team. I've lived through the highs and lows of, 4 straight Super Bowl losses, 17-year playoff drought. And I try to be a humble Bills fan. I sit and listen to you guys every day in the truck on the way to work, and, how it's going to be the Jets year. Now the conversation is about, Lamar versus Josh Allen. Are we forgetting what happened last year when Lamar won the MVP, which, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but we put Josh Allen to the side. He had over 700 more passing yards than Lamar, more rushing yards than Lamar, but we gave it to Lamar because his team's performance, right? A number 1 overall seed in the AFC. I don't want to take anything away from Lamar. I think he's a great talent, but it's almost a joke. The better that Josh Allen plays every year, it's like the more likely that Lamar is going to win the MVP. I'm going to hang up and let you guys listen, but appreciate you guys taking my call. Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year, Alex. I don't – listen, did Lamar deserve the MVP last year? I don't know. Like, I thought he should have won the MVP, but certainly there was a case for Josh Allen. Certainly you could have gone a different direction. But if we're going to talk about playoffs and what did Lamar do after he won the MVP, last time I checked, Reed, Josh Allen has the same number of AFC Championship game appearances as Lamar Jackson does. Those two have the same number of Super Bowl appearances, 0. So I don't know if there's any sort of correlation between the two. I don't think that matters.
Yeah, and boy, it's just we're a prisoner of the moment, right? That's the other thing. And when we try to make these arguments for or against these players, you can like everything is right. When you tell me a stat on Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, I'm like, yes, I agree, right? Because you're trying to compare apples to Fuji apples, right? Like they're like in my mind,
what is the difference between those two, by the way?
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Because when you look at what they've been able to do for their teams, and in a lot of ways, like it is like they have a similar setup, right? In a lot of ways. And look, the pieces are different, but, I think this is what's happening. What's happening to Lamar Jackson right now is basically what happened to Josh Allen last year, right? Which is, look at all of these numbers, look at what they're doing, but we're going to give it to this guy because, to your point, Ken, it does feel like the sentiment on Josh Allen is much higher, or not much higher, is higher than Lamar Jackson as it stands. Now, again, like I mentioned in the first segment, this is a recency bias type of award. All of these awards, to an extent, are. So if down the stretch, Lamar is doing more for his team and they get into that first place in their division because of Lamar Jackson, you watch that number on ESPN Bet will be much closer than it is right now. But I would not discredit anyone's argument for either guy because they're both, totally, they should win this award. It should be split down the middle, Ken.
I think that, literally cut it in half and just hand it to them. I cannot argue with a team that is, the way the Steelers are playing, the Ravens are absolutely winning that division, right? It is going to be the Ravens, again, as the AFC North champions. I cannot argue with 39 passing touchdowns to 4. Count them, 4. You still have one more finger on your hand, depending on who you are. 4 interceptions on the season. I mean, that is elite protection of the football.
Yep.
And so I know you said earlier, Reed, that this MVP race typically is won in the final, 3-4 weeks of the season,
Probably,
right? This is where the voters are really taking their body of evidence and applying it to their vote. Here's the thing. Because the Ravens season has been a little bit rockier than many expected, because there's been hiccups, because the Ravens have lost games largely because the passing defense has been really, really poor through stretches of this season.